Hey everyone, my name is Matt and welcome to New to Radio. This is a channel that's specifically going to kind of go through and review my journey as I get more into ham radios. About 2 months ago, I was riding at a local dirt bike club that I belong to, and a fellow member had a ham radio. And we got to talking, and it was something that I never ever had on my radar, but shortly after spending some time with him, hearing about being a part of his preparedness plan, I decided to kind of look a little bit more into the hobby and familiarize myself a little bit more with what ham radio was and all the stuff that goes along with it. So I'm brand new to ham radio. I will be the first to say that I am probably not your best source of knowledge. I am more or less a beginner, and I'm trying to just document the journey. And it's been very exciting so far. In the last 2 months, I feel like I've learned years worth of material. However, I still know nothing. And luckily, I am surrounded by some folks that understand the ham radio systems very well and understand what I'm trying to accomplish, because that's probably one of the biggest things about getting into ham is it's not just all just talking on the air. There's various forms and different things that you can do, which I never thought was imaginable and has really kind of made me lean more into the hobby. So with that being said, I am not even licensed yet. I have my technician exam scheduled next week. For about the last month and a half, I've been studying. I feel very confident in my ability to pass the exam, and I'm looking forward to that. I probably should have scheduled my exam sooner, but what this last month and a half has allowed me to do is kind of dig deeper and apply what I'm learning, while listening on the air to, hey, this relates to my exam material, as opposed to just knowing which answer to pick when you see a question, kind of memorizing the exam. Not really helping in the sense of, furthering my knowledge, but I'm seeing that more and more applied as I listen and become a little bit more familiar with how things work. Still can't talk. Haven't hit the push to talk button once on my handheld, and I won't until I am licensed. So I am excited for next week for sure. And I guess one thing I did want to talk about was folks that maybe are thinking about getting licensed, and I'll just take you through my journey. The first thing I learned about was, okay, I got to take a pretty good sized test. There's a lot of stuff that's available. There's hamstudy.org, which is completely free, and it gives you all the questions. And I mean, I took my first test and I think I got like 8 right. So I knew pretty quickly that, yeah, I was gonna have to study for this, because I come from a management experience, business management. I have no electrical knowledge outside of positive and negative, and a little bit of small engine experience with dirt bikes and cars and whatnot. But with that being said, I realized, like, wow, I got to study for this. And I hate just knowing the answer or memorizing the answer. I really want to dig in and be like, okay, I understand this is the answer to the question, and here's why. In the last probably couple of weeks, I've been able to dig into that more, and that's been really exciting, and it's kind of furthered my knowledge on the technician exam itself. So for those of you that are getting ready to take that exam or thinking about taking the exam, I do have 2 quick recommendations, because I am certain I'll probably get within 2-3 100%, or I'll have 1 or 2 questions wrong, depending on what comes out of the pool. But I feel pretty comfortable with the material itself. But I'll just go over what I learned, and kind of what worked really well for me was hamstudy.org. I read every single question. It's super easy to use, but I just went through and I read every question and the answer. Once I completed that for all of the 10 modules, I then went back and started taking individual tests by module. And I think that really helped me get off to the right start because you could kind of correlate. You're in a module and it's about electrical schematics and what is this figure? Is it a capacitor, transistor, whatnot? And then you can kind of study in that block for a period of time. So I spent roughly 30 to 45 minutes a day just going through that stuff for all 10 modules. And that worked out really well. And that's what's great. It's free. Ham Study's got it and all that detail is in there. So locally, I was also saying like, hey, maybe there's a club, maybe there's a study group of some sort. And I'm pretty fortunate locally, like we've got a really good, I'm in upstate New York, so we've got a pretty good club base here. And locally they have a club that puts on an actual 2-day study type seminar. And I think it's really like a good introduction to ham. And it just kind of goes along with the coursework in the book I'm going to talk about in a minute. So that club, I reached out to one of the guys in the club. He seemed very genuine and I immediately signed up for it. It was $50. And I'm like, you know what? I'll meet some folks. And you know, if I want to just kind of do this underground on my own, I could do that. Or I can meet some folks and maybe I'll likely learn a lot more, you know? So I'm excited. So that club actually meets next week. Or it's not a club. It's basically like a exam practice of some sort. So it's a exam prep. So they meet next week. So I'll meet with them. And then after that, I'll take my exam, hopefully pass, and then be on my way as a technician and having some limited abilities to do some cool stuff with ham radio. But with that class, one of their prerequisites was a book by a gentleman by the name of Gordon West. And he puts together, he's got 3 of these books. I think he's got more books, but he's got a book for each of the different classes that are available. So obviously technician class, I've been studying this pretty hard. You know, I go through and I'm highlighting the stuff that I feel like I don't know very well and going back to it. But this book is written phenomenally. I also, when I first started looking at this, I got the AARL book. And that's good, but man, this book goes into good detail and it's written on a level that a non-techie would understand. So I got nothing but positives to say about this. And it's got all the questions in it as well. So you have that with Ham Study. But I really would recommend for $30 or so, get this. You'll probably keep it and refer back to it. It's really well written. And the other thing too is, you know, if my son is interested in doing this, well, here you go, bud. You know, start reviewing it and you know, get ready so you can get your license as well. So I bought this and I also picked up the general class book. So I haven't really cracked this open yet, but my goal is pretty much after next week, get that technician's license and then just move right in, get that general class. So I have a little bit more high frequency abilities and I can go into and do a little bit more stuff on that high frequency range. But I'm excited just to get on the air. Have never done that before. So I probably got to slow down, but it's pretty exciting. So with that being said, I have been listening for the last 2 months. I got back from that dirt bike trip and I was like, man, I got to get something. And did a lot of research online. I didn't have anyone locally that I felt like I could lean and ask about this. So more or less found the Yaesu FT60. So I've learned a lot with the Yaesu FT60. I've had this for about 2 months now. I upgraded the antenna, but it's been a great radio and I've learned a lot with this. My wife and I have a house north of here as well, which is like a lake house. And, you know, I wanted something portable that I could take around and even hike with. So pretty excited about this. And, you know, maybe this is what I throw in my bag when I go dirt biking. It's winter now, so I've got some time to make some decisions on that. But it's been great to just learn how to use this radio and to kind of dig into some of the functionality of it, and it works really well, and it's you know it's very, you know, it's been around for a long time. I think this radio has been around since 2004, so the reviews on it are great, and it's not that hard to use. First timer using it, I had no idea what I was doing, but after some YouTube videos and research, it seemed to be a pretty simple process. So really excited about this. Obviously, you can't do anything high HF on this, so picked up another radio, which is the ICOM IC705, which I'll be perfectly honest, it's beyond my capability. I really wanted something portable, and there's a lot of positives about the IC705. There's a lot of folks that are negative, saying it's not strong enough, could discourage a beginner. I haven't had that. I think I take the approach of trying to absorb all the information, whether it's on YouTube or forums or whatnot. There's a lot of good stuff on that ICOM IC705. So I've been able to use it as in HF modes and to listen in on HF bands, which is super cool, which was like amazing. Like I really was like, this is really cool. And then I've learned a little bit about some of the other modes, so that you can send messages using WinLink. A lot of this stuff I can't use until I'm licensed, so I haven't really dove into that too much. But just that capability of the IC705 seems really cool. And one of the guys that I've gravitated to, and I'm like, man, he's got so much good stuff, and his videos are really good. It's an off-grid ham radio. I think it's Oscar Hotel 8 Sierra Tango November. He does a great job. I believe his name is Julian. He does a phenomenal job just going into all kinds of cool stuff, specifically with the IC705, but just in general, his how well he seems to be prepared and how well he's dialed in. That's kind of the avenue I'm interested in exploring. So really excited about that. I think that the ham radio, when I first learned about it, I'm like, man, this is a dying breed. Who's still doing this? And then you realize, whoa, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to what's going on. And I think it's important for us in the public to make sure that we're talking that up, because if I'm excited and I'm a guy that loves computers and internet and mobile devices and whatnot, ham radio wouldn't be on my radar. It's something that I found that's really, really exciting and neat to be diving into at the current moment. So really quick, going on into antennas, I bought, actually the guy, I believe it's the guy that owns the ham study, he builds antennas. So I've purchased a few items off of the Signal Stuff website, a couple of signal sticks for both the ICOM IC705 and the Yaesu FT60. So I have Signal Stuff antennas, and those have worked very well for me. I don't know a ton about antennas, so but you could definitely tell a difference using that antenna with the handheld for sure. And the IC705, it's great to have as if I'm just working on a computer and I want to listen to some local stuff, and maybe I don't want to burn down my battery on the Yaesu. So really neat there. I also picked up, and honestly, I didn't want to spend a ton of money on a high frequency antenna, so I also picked up a JPC-12. Now JPC-12, there's a lot of stuff online about that, good portable antenna. What I liked about that is it just had a lot of good reviews, a lot of good support. I also found a site where, when I got this thing and I cracked open the instructions, it was in English, but it was still like reading another language. So I was able to find a couple of sites that really set up how that antenna was to be set up for, whether it's 6, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, 30, or 40 meter. It told you exactly how to set the antenna up, where to put the selector, and it made it super easy. So that has been great. And having SWR, which is 1.2, 1.8, not like I'm transmitting, but wanting to be able to set everything up so that, hey, when I am ready to transmit, I know what I'm doing. I'm super excited about that. So I know that I'm pretty limited on HF bands with the technician's license, but I'm excited to be able to start making contacts in the bands that I will have the ability to go into. So that's really it. So that's really my video. I just, I wanted to talk and just kind of share what I am going to do with this channel. My goal is to try to share some of my experiences. And then the other part, which is important, is to talk about some of the equipment, some of the stuff I'm doing. I'm not as experienced as other folks, but I think for folks that are newer, that want to learn more about the hobby and how everything works and whatnot, maybe I could be a good resource for that, coming from someone without experience to now having just a slight bit of experience and sharing that with folks. So appreciate you if you made it this far in the video. Hopefully I'll be adding more videos soon, but did want to say thank you and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much.